alternatives could be knight f3, bishop c4, and etc. Okay, he does go d4.
Moves like e5 and c5 are preferred because they play towards the center, and this just allows us to have a lot of space.
Okay, knight c3. So he fenced a pawn that was being attacked. I'm going to go g6, which is the usual plan in this.
Let's see what's the next move. Okay, g6 has played the ideas of the fiancé to the bishop. Here, there are a lot of moves attacking just knight to f3, and this is very standard development, letting the knight out. We should always try to prefer the knights over the bishops when preferring which piece to let out first, as knights just are
Knight f3 by my opponent. Um, so there are some alternative lines where you can go c6, b5, and so on. But I'm going to keep things simple for now. C6 and B5 is usually in conjunction with him bringing the bishop out and him planning to castle queenside. So I'm going to hold off on that for now.
matching the pawns which are working towards the center. Now we can just bring our bishop out to e2, yeah, just defending the knight and
Hey, bishop e2. So it seems like he is going to castle kingside. So an idea over here is c5, and on pawn takes you have queen to a5, I believe. The idea being knight takes e4. But I'm not particularly sure whether it's at this point I'm supposed to play c5. It might be, so c5, pawn takes, queen to a5. He has to defend his knight then. And I have won a pawn back over there, so I guess I'm generally kind of okay. Yeah, I think I should try something a bit aggressive. I am in the mood for it, so I think we can go c5 here. Just looking for any tricks. c5. I don't think bishop here changes anything. Yeah, let's go c5.
okay. So c5 is played. Now, see, now black tries to challenge the center via c5, but now we can see that we can potentially take and trade the queens, and now already the position actually feels quite iffy for black, as um he'll be behind in development because already two of our pieces are out, and he has to challenge the center either way, which is why I would have recommended to play c5 or e5 on the first moves. This feels a little bit inferior for him. So now let's think what can be done by white. Now, a few ideas which come to mind are d5 to gain even more space towards the center, not allowing this knight to develop. Another move which does come to mind is dc5, now after which we have to calculate. dc5, queen d8, king d8. How favorable is that in game? Well, it's quite interesting. But I think I would like to currently keep more pieces on and play a little bit longer, play a little bit of a long game. So I think I'll just play d5.
So he might be thinking, okay, pushes pawn. Interesting. I think this is the wrong move because e6 comes. First, I think I must castle. Also, I can still play queen a5, but now it's a bit redundant because bishop d2, and I'm not really threatening anything with my queen. So now I will castle, I think, and look to play e6.
Create counterplay against the strong center. Okay, so black is this castle. Now we can just also castle and get a king out of the center.
Okay, so e6 is definitely on the cards. Um, e6, I'm just a bit worried, I guess, about pawn takes, bishop takes, knight here possibly, but there, like, this pawn's hanging, so I'm gonna go e6 without thinking much about it. Just seems like the correct move.
Okay. Okay, e6. This actually feels like a mistake to me. What e6 does is it seems to challenge the center, but in this type of position, we should realize for black what is happening is after playing e6, not enough pieces are currently developed for him to break this position. After e6, we can just capture potentially you can just capture this pawn, and we can see the clear weakness of d6. And e6 actually feels quite premature. The real plans in this position for black would have included e6 and a6 and b5. So okay, e6 is played. Now let's think what can be done for white. A few moves which come to mind are either to take, but the issue which I'm seeing with taking is f takes e6. Then if we try to somehow attack this pawn again via bishop f4, black has d5, and black would potentially be fine in that position. So in this position, I think a better move would be to pin this knight. As we can see, there is a lot of pressure on this pinned piece. So I think it should just be bishop g5. Another move which could potentially be thought of is bishop f4 right here. Because now, after which I'd be threatening to take this pawn on e6 and then win the pawn on d6, which actually seems quite interesting. After bishop f4, black will also have trouble developing this knight, as knight d7 will just be met by bishop into d6. And bishop f4, e d5 is what I'm currently now thinking about. I think after just e d5, white seems to be quite doing quite well in this position. I think I'll play bishop f4.
F5. Okay. Bishop to f4. So now possibly like the first move that comes to my mind is knight h5, and it seems decent. Like after knight to h5, he'll either have to bring his bishop back or he might play bishop to g g5. And if he plays bishop to g5, I can play queen to b6 with tempo. Then there is the question of my knight being a bit misplaced, but I think I think my queen gets in good position and seems okay, but then again, I can't really take this pawn anytime soon is the problem. Hmm. Should I consider taking this pawn first? Yes, that could be correct because if I take this, he can't take with this knight. He hangs this pawn. So if I take here and he has to take with this pawn, and my bishop can come out. Yeah, that seems fine. Hmm.
Okay, so e d5 has been chosen by black. Now, if knight d5, obviously, the point is just to play knight e4. So I think we should just take e into d5. We can now play knight b5, maybe rook e1. And yeah, it seems quite good for white.
Now I can go bishop f5. Like I'm rethinking knight h5. I don't think it's that productive. I mean, bishop to g5, for example, and then queen b6. Let's say like knight to b5 at that point, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing. So, hmm, tough decision. Yeah, maybe I should go bishop f5. I mean, or bishop g4 is also possible. There's also just bringing the rook to the open file, which also makes a lot of sense. And there's also stopping his knight from entering b5. I think perhaps I should stop his knight first. Yeah, that makes sense. I stop his knight and then like I don't have to worry about like knight b5, knight c7 in the future. So let's play that.
Yeah, so see, we can see that a6 has been played, but now feels a little bit too slow and it doesn't really do much. I can just play a4, also clamp this position completely, the queen side down of blacks with a5, and it feels quite good for me.
Okay, a4 makes sense. He wants to stop me from playing b5, but I didn't really want to play b5 anyway. So let's bring my bishop out. Now I might consider this move.
Okay, so bishop f5 has been played. Now I think knight h4 feels like a very interesting option. We can see that the bishop is extremely limited on square because of the g6 pawn. Now, what are the moves for black in that position? Another move which comes to mind is a5 to cram this position on the queen side. So let's see. Mhm. After knight h4, maybe something like bishop e4 will be played to provoke this, taking this, and it kind of frees up the position for black a little bit. Although I do believe that white will still be better in that position. But okay. So now I can play a5, which actually seems quite tempting. It disallows the queen to move to b6, yet again stopping the knight from coming to d7 because of the bishop on f4. So I think I'll just play a5, clamping the structure down for now.
Hey, this move. I thought knight e5. I mean, knight to e4 is just good now. Knight e4 makes a lot of sense. I guess this is decent because he's stopping queen b6, but maybe I should have played queen b6 one more earlier, actually. Okay, no problem. Um, rook e8 or knight to e4. Let's try knight to e4 and see what happens. I am getting a bit low on time at the same time, so
It does the job for me now. I'm kind of forced to trade a bit of pieces at least. So I think the only sensible move to is to remove the knight, the active, extremely active knight on e4 by taking the knight on e4. Obviously has to take back. Now I can just play c3 to blunt this diagonal of the bishop. And yet again, this knight is completely dead on the home square. It cannot move as I will just take capture the pawn on d6. So now it's
okay, replace that. Now, um, I need to get this knight developed still. There's also the move b5. B5 might be pretty good actually. Yeah, b5 looks strong. Still the question of how I'm going to get my knight developed though, which is a bit annoying. But we'll play b5, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Maybe I can threaten b4.
and then somehow allowed to play knight d7. Okay, so b5 is played. Obviously, my idea was to stop b5 with a5, but okay, still it's played. With b5, the idea is to clamp the position down with c4. Now I could capture the pawn with a b6, but okay, let's think about this for a second. If I capture a b6, doesn't it just free up the position a bit more for black? Now after queen takes b6, he's attacking the pawn, I'll have to defend it, and then the knight will just come to d7, and it opens up the position for black. I do not want that. If c4 is played anytime in the future, the d4 square will become extremely weak and could be potentially useful for us. So I think for now, I'll just bring my rook into the game via rook even.
Should I play b4 or rook e8? Rook e8 might be slightly better. Um, I can also kind of trade the knights, but I mean trade a bishop for the knight, but like I don't want him to have the double bishops. So okay, we're going rook e8.
Interesting. Yet again, I have a few choices. We can see that currently a piece of black is just not playing in the game. Now, okay. It's quite interesting. I actually have a very interesting move in mind, which is to play bishop d3. The point is to provoke bishop into d5, then to play bishop into g6. It opens up the position a little bit, but I think it works in the benefit of mine, as it kind of opens up more diagonals for my bishop and also the file for my queen. So my idea is to play bishop d3, provoking bishop d5, bishop into g6, obviously bishop f3, then queen f3, then at the end of the line a8 is hanging, and bishop d3, queen d3, c4, and then okay, it's just fine for me. I can just come back, possibly take yet again this knight on b8 is completely dead. I think it should just do bishop d3. But okay, I've kind of let black catch up a bit on the clocks, but okay, that's
Okay. Um, hmm. Should I take this pawn? I can if I want to, but he takes here, I suppose. And then I can take here. He takes here. I give up the queen. And bishop takes here. Rook takes here. Are we equal material after that? I guess his bishop's hanging? Oh no, when he takes with the rook. Bishop to f8 will have to be played and then bishop to h6. Hmm. Okay. I think it's risky to take that pawn then. Hmm. Yeah, that's unfortunate. So I guess I will have to trade the bishop for bishop. Hmm. Then I heavily dislike my position, is the thing. Bishop takes bishop, queen takes bishop. Hmm. Should I try bishop takes pawn? Bishop takes here. Ah, wait. I trade the rooks first, don't I then? Yeah. Bishop takes pawn, bishop takes pawn, and then trade the rooks. So that he doesn't have the back.
which is extremely awkward. Okay, so bishop d5 is taken. Now I think I can just capture bishop into g6. Let's see what's
Don't know how smart this is to be honest, but okay. Um, right. Now this move.
it just seems to be too much. If bishop into f3, the idea is obviously going into f3. This is taken, I can just
Mm, not exactly sure what to play here. Maybe bishop takes pawn, or just bring the bishop back. Yeah, I guess this.
Okay, bishop e6 is played. Interesting. Still trying to hang on. The idea is if I play bishop e4, d5 will be played. So now I have to think. Now, okay, now this is a strategically winning position. We can see that the cover on the black king is just completely blown. So, okay, so I have to calculate here. I think I'll just bring my bishop.
Perhaps there's some hope. Now d5.
Okay, so this is played. Now we can see another weakness which has been formed. This weakness is currently protected by the queen and the bishop, but we can see another weakness has been formed and we can attack it via knight.
Okay, that I should defend that. Okay, going knight here.
Waiting for me. But I have to still be quite careful in this position. There are still a few missteps that have to be managed. Okay, I can just bring my bishop back.
Okay, queen here.
And okay, now I can just play bishop g3. Gain.
Maybe. Uh, I don't know.
Okay, now queen c4. This queen feels extremely loose on the c4 square as it can be attacked by bishop and it could potentially be.
Here, maybe. Okay. Um. Okay, play this.
Queen e4, bishop d3, queen e5, after which I am currently calculating. Let's see. I think I'll start
Okay.
bishop e2. I'll play bishop
It's quite uncomfortable though, and thankfully I don't think he has any like discoveries.
okay, now let's see. It's very miraculous that black is still surviving. I should have some trick like knight g6. The idea is queen f6, bishop h4, which is forking the queen and the bishop. Then black doesn't have enough time to capture the knight on g6. So I think knight g6 seems to be the correct move.
Here.
Okay, queen g5. I have the same idea with bishop h4. Wearing these two pieces
Hanging the rook.
and capture.
Great move. Damn. Mm, okay. Like
And I think I can capture on b5. It's very straightforward. Well played by my opponent.
that's unfortunate. Okay. Well played to my opponent.
d4, it's a desperate attempt against a7. And yeah, thank you.